Welcome to Recap World. Today, we are recapping a movie in which a top-secret weapon falls into mercenary hands and a wildcard CIA agent joins forces with 3 international agents on a mission to retrieve it, while staying a step ahead of a mysterious woman who's tracking their every move. The story commences in a secluded area, 150 miles south of Bogota, Colombia, where a notorious drug lord holds sway. Elijah Clark, a criminal mastermind, arrives for a rendezvous with him. Geronimo, the drug lord's son, joins them, brandishing a laptop and a drive claiming that it can access anything on the internet. Unbeknownst to them, authorities are monitoring their conversation. Geronimo showcases the drive's capabilities by remotely causing an aircraft above them to explode and disrupting TV transmissions in Bogota. Having witnessed these demonstrations, Elijah eliminates Geronimo and ultimately dispatches the drug lord himself. The ensuing gunfire alerts the authorities, who swiftly raid the mansion. Meanwhile, Elijah manages to flee, leaving the drug lord to face justice at the hands of law enforcement. Luis Rojas, a Colombian operative, obtains the drive and realizes its worth. He reaches out to the CIA, offering to sell the drive for $3 million and arranges a meeting in Paris. Mace, a CIA operative, is tasked with the mission and travels to Paris with her partner and lover, Nick Fowler, posing as a married couple. At the rendezvous point, they sit with Rojas, ready for the exchange. However, a clumsy waitress spills food, creating a distraction. In the chaos, she snatches Nick's bag, prompting Rojas to flee suspiciously. Mace gives chase, following the waitress to a station where she manages to slip away. As Mace enters the station, she realizes the waitress has slipped into the tunnel. Meanwhile, Nick tracks Rojas down in an alley and attempts to confront him, only to be overpowered and beaten by Rojas. Suddenly, Elijah intervenes, questioning Nick about the drive's whereabouts. In the commotion, Mace locates the waitress and fires a shot, but the waitress manages to evade her, boarding a train and disappearing successfully. Inside the train, the waitress searches the bag but finds only cash, realizing the drive is missing. Meanwhile, after escaping from Nick, Rojas limps back to his hotel room, injured. To his surprise, his therapist, Graciela Rivera, arrives and demands the package, but Rojas denies any knowledge of it. The waitress turns out to be a German BND agent, Marie Schmidt. The Germans uncover Nick and Marie's CIA affiliation. The BND director dispatches a team to apprehend Rojas, but Marie, assigned to the case, insists on managing it herself. Meanwhile, Mace returns to the agency, dismayed to learn that Nick's microphone has gone silent. Her distress deepens upon hearing the news of Nick's demise in Paris. Mark acknowledges the gravity of the situation, noting he can't officially sanction her mission, yet won't obstruct Mace if she opts for a personal pursuit of vengeance. Determined to avenge Nick's death, Mace journeys to London with the aim of enlisting her former friend and retired MI6 operative, Khadija Adeyemi. Initially hesitant, Khadija refuses Mace's plea for assistance. Undeterred, Mace reveals the peril posed by the drive, emphasizing the potential for global conflict, and discloses Nick's demise. Recognizing the seriousness of the situation and motivated by loyalty, Khadija agrees to join forces. Together, they scrutinize restaurant footage, uncovering the waitress's true identity as a BND agent. Their investigation leads them to the revelation that Rojas remains in Paris. Khadija alerts her boyfriend and accompanies Mace on their journey to Paris. Passionately, Graciela implores Rojas to surrender to the Colombian agency and return the drive. She reveals that 4 agents are stationed outside the hotel, awaiting his decision. Moved by her plea, Rojas agrees to surrender. Retrieving the drive, he heads to the airport, unaware of Mace's presence. Khadija informs Mace about Marie's presence, prompting action. Marie swiftly incapacitates one of the guards, but Mace intervenes before she can harm another, resulting in a fierce confrontation. In the midst of the chaos, one of Rojas' guards betrays him, shooting Rojas and the remaining guards. Seizing the opportunity, the traitorous guard grabs the drive and attempts to escape. Khadija closely pursues the fleeing guard as Marie triumphs over Mace, escaping the scene. Realizing his fate, Rojas entrusts control of the drive to Graciela before succumbing to his injuries. Meanwhile, Marie continues her pursuit of the guard, exchanging gunfire in a bid to capture him. Despite her efforts, the guard manages to evade both Marie and Mace, fleeing aboard a boat. As the police arrive, they escort Graciela away from the chaos. Sensing an opportunity, Marie discreetly appropriates a special agent's ID card. Presenting it to the police, she assumes custody of Graciela, escorting her back to the hotel. Once there, Marie begins her interrogation of Graciela regarding the drive and Rojas. Their conversation is abruptly interrupted as Mace and Khadija burst into the room, both aiming their weapons at Marie. Sensing the gravity of the situation and realizing they have a common adversary, Khadija proposes they join forces. After a tense standoff, Mace and Marie reluctantly agree to collaborate. They once again interrogate Graciela about the drive's whereabouts. This time, Graciela divulges that Rojas provided her with a tracker to locate the drive. Khadija examines the tracker and determines the drive's location to be in Morocco. However, Graciela declines to accompany them, expressing her desire to return home and reunite with her family. Recognizing the significance of Graciela's fingerprints to access the tracker, Mace persuades her by emphasizing the imminent danger they all face. Reluctantly, Graciela agrees to cooperate. With their alliance formed, consisting of Mace, Khadija, Marie, and Graciela, they set their sights on Morocco. Upon arrival, they begin tracking the rogue guard. Mace observes him passing something to another individual, prompting her to tail the recipient, while Marie continues to shadow the rogue guard closely. Eventually, the guard leads them into a narrow alley, where a group of assailants ambushes and kills him. Marie discovers that these individuals are also seeking the drive. The man carrying the drive enters a hammam, with Khadija tailing him. Inside, she encounters 3 assailants and engages in a fierce battle. With Mace's swift intervention, they manage to overpower the attackers. Meanwhile, Marie keeps an eye on the package, cautioning that they aren't the only ones pursuing it. Together, Marie and Mace neutralize all individuals tailing the package, clearing their path. In a strategic move to acquire the drive, they intercept the man and skillfully pickpocket it from him. Mace then delivers the drive to her superior, Mark, successfully concluding the mission. With the drive safely handed over, she embraces the triumph and heads to a bar to celebrate. Alone in his office, Mark becomes the target of a deadly assault by an enigmatic woman. Meanwhile, Mace, at the bar, catches a news report on TV detailing multiple plane crashes in the city. Khadija checks the tracker for the drive and finds it deactivated. The group swiftly gathers at Mark's office, only to discover his lifeless body. Despite a thorough search, the drive remains elusive. Khadija spots 2 approaching cars, each carrying armed men. As they enter the room, it's revealed they're CIA agents. Agent Grady accuses Mace of Mark's murder. Sensing danger, Khadija swiftly deactivates the office lights with her device while Mace wrestles control of Grady's firearm. She incapacitates him with a blow to the head and flees the scene. Marie attempts to contact her superior, only to discover suspicions of her loyalty. Concerned her phone may be traced, she abruptly terminates the call to avoid further scrutiny. In their quest for leads on the drive, Mace and her allies revisit the individual from whom they pilfered it and subject him to interrogation. When he proves uncooperative, Marie shoots him in the leg. Eventually, he divulges that the plane crash was a mere publicity stunt for an upcoming auction in Shanghai. The team ventures to Shanghai, where Khadija formulates a strategy to infiltrate the auction. Using her hacking skills, Khadija gains access to the system and includes their names on the guest list. She reveals that the drive will be concealed within one of the auction items. Khadija discreetly enters the washroom, maneuvers into a duct, hacks into the security system, and becomes suspicious of a man with gray hair. Mace intentionally spills drinks on him, allowing Marie to retrieve documents. Upon examination, they discover that the drive is concealed within a vase. Meanwhile, Mace notices someone and begins trailing them, only to realize it's Nick, who was previously presumed dead. Nick leads her to a room as the auction commences. Unfortunately, Khadija's access to the auction is blocked, prompting her to exit the duct and disable the device. Nick admits to colluding with dubious characters and attending the auction to acquire the drive. He extends an invitation to Mace to join him, which she refuses. In retaliation, Nick confines her in a room under tight security. Undeterred, Mace confronts the guards and tries to fight her way free. Khadija notifies Marie and Graciela of the necessity for someone to get close to the drive for her to lock its electronic signature. Graciela steps forward, deliberately dropping her purse near the vase, enabling Khadija to successfully lock the drive's signature. Khadija then notifies the group that the vase is being moved to a secluded area. In the backroom, Nick meets the seller and requests a demonstration to confirm the drive's functionality. Khadija provides Marie with a chemical to create a bomb. Together, they proceed to the back area and detonate the bomb, incapacitating the guards. Mace overpowers the guards and breaks free. News quickly reaches the seller that the explosion has been reported to police. Seizing the opportunity, Nick seizes the drive and flees the scene. The auction hall empties out as Marie and Khadija are cornered by guards. Unexpectedly, the mysterious woman reappears and orders the guards to stand down, enabling Marie and Khadija to depart without harm. They exit the auction hall together. Just as the police arrive, the mysterious woman arrives in her car, offering them a getaway. She transports them to her residence and introduces herself as Lin Mishang, divulging her affiliation with the ministry. Lin reveals that the auction was orchestrated to gather data on potential buyers of the drive. It is revealed that Mark, who orchestrated the plane crashes, was in cahoots with Nick, both receiving payments from Elijah. Lin Mishang reveals to Mace the genuine drive, uncovering that Nick had been duped with a counterfeit version. Disappointed by Nick's failure to secure the authentic drive, Elijah reprimands him. The women are enjoying a moment of respite when a group of armed men forcefully barges into the house, capturing them all. Nick enters the room, demanding the drive from Lin, but she steadfastly refuses to disclose any information. Nick resorts to drastic measures, showing live footage of each woman's captive family, intensifying the tension. Tragically, he murders Lin's father, Marie's superior, and Khadija's partner. With Graciella's family held hostage, Nick threatens their lives next. Overwhelmed by the stakes, Lynn reluctantly surrenders the drive. Nick insists Lynn accompany him to verify its authenticity this time. Seeking composure, Mace instructs Marie to deactivate the monitors. However, as Marie attempts to comply, a live feed activates from Lynn's glasses camera. Taking charge, Khadija initiates the trace to identify the source and location of the feed. Graciella advises her family to seek refuge at the nearest police station for safety. Khadija successfully pinpoints the hotel where Elijah is staying. Meanwhile, Marie discovers a concealed chamber stocked with an array of weapons. With resolve, they equip themselves, bracing for an imminent assault. Nick pressures Lynn to unlock the drive, but she deliberately works slowly to stall for time. Seizing this window of opportunity, Mace and her companions initiate their preparations to infiltrate the premises. Lynn provides them with a live feed of the suite via the camera in her glasses. Concurrently, Marie sets up the bomb for an ambush. Mace begins ascending to the balcony, aiming to gain entry to Nick's suite. As Lynn successfully breaks the encryption, Nick commands his guards to forcibly remove her from the room. Lynn bravely battles against the guards as Mace reaches the balcony. Suddenly, Marie triggers the bomb, blasting through the roof and gaining entry into the room, immediately engaging the guards in a fierce firefight. Graciella arrives at Nick's suite and warns the others of approaching men from the front gate. Meanwhile, Mace notices Nick stirring and confronts him in a brutal struggle. Subduing him, Mace renders Nick unconscious. Upon returning to the room, she finds Marie in possession of the drive. However, Nick regains consciousness and shoots Marie. Just as he's about to harm Mace, Graciella intervenes, shooting him and neutralizing the threat. The Chinese police swiftly arrive, and Khadija deliberately destroys the drive. The police take custody of all the women, ensuring Nick is still alive. 2 months later, Nick confronts Elijah at his mansion, accusing him of orchestrating a hit on him. After a brief exchange, Nick kills Elijah and departs. Grady approaches his superior, who turns out to be Nick himself. Nick inquires about Mace, and Grady informs him that they're actively searching for her. Later, Nick returns home to find Mace waiting for him unexpectedly. They share a drink and exchange a few words, during which Mace reveals that Nick has been promoted for eliminating Elijah on behalf of the agency. However, Nick begins to feel dizzy, and at that moment, Mace's allies reveal themselves, having manipulated the situation. It is disclosed that Nick was drugged through his drink. They inform him that he will face the consequences of his crimes by spending the rest of his life in a foreign prison, and Nick collapses. With their mission accomplished, the women decide to go their separate ways.